First thing, I'm going to tell you about the Kentucky Free Thought Convention. Go to kyfreethoughtconvention.org. It is September 2nd in Louisville on the entire 6th floor of the Muhammad Ali Center. We got Seth Andrews from the Thinking Atheist podcast. We've got Matt Dillahunty from the Atheist Experience TV show and podcast, and a great lineup. It'll be a great time. That's Saturday, September 2nd. Some other meetups in Louisville. First of all, there's a State Fair booth, August 17th through 27th. Come by our booth. You can learn more about that over at our tent. July 24th, we have the League of Women Voters visiting us to tell us about their issues. They probably align a little bit with Planned Parenthood, so be sure and look for that meetup. August 14th, the Freedom From Foundation Student of Color Essay Contest winner, Lydia Mason, who is recently featured on Free Thought Today podcast, is going to be our guest speaker. That's Lydia Mason, the Student of Color Essay Contest winner with the Freedom From Religion Foundation. Last of all, listen to Blasphemy in the Bluegrass podcast. And some of you here, I learned, live in District 9 in Indiana. The man who brought gay marriage all the way to the Supreme Court and won, Dan Cannon, is running for Congress in District 9 in Indiana. I can't say to vote for him because I represent too many 501c3 groups, but I think you know what to do if you go to the polls and you see his name on the ballot. Okay. The biggest question that I get asked is, why aren't we suing over that? Why aren't we suing over the abortion clinic accesses and all the rules and regulations and executive orders? There are people that are doing that. Why don't we sue over the biblical literacy bill? Why don't we sue over the year of the Bible 2 years in a row? Why don't we sue over $18 million in tax incentives going to Ark Encounter? Why don't we sue over the $3.5 million annually given to religious organizations, for religious schools, for their busing? The problem is there have been lawsuits before that set bad precedent, and I'm going to go over some of them. In 2006, the Super Bowl was in Detroit. Detroit decided to spend millions of dollars to make its city look nice. Sounds good. They wound up giving hundreds of thousands of dollars to buildings in certain locations. Amongst those buildings were churches. They gave churches hundreds of thousands of dollars. American Atheists sued. American Atheists wound up losing. Kentucky Homeland Security, I was a plaintiff. American Atheist was also a plaintiff. I'm not going to go into details on the law, but trust me, it was stupid and bad. But we wound up winning at district court, losing at the state appeals court, and then it not being taken any further. The World Trade Center cross case, American Atheists also lost that one. Regarding the $3.5 million that go to religious schools every year in Kentucky, Jefferson County Teachers Association sued. In that case, they lost at the Kentucky Supreme Court level 4-3. Recently, Trinity Presbyterian case, if you've been following that, they got the right to receive $20,000 from the state to improve their playground. The problem isn't that there haven't been people suing. The problem is we're not winning all of them. And guess which state of all 50 is the absolute worst to sue in for church straight violations? Wow. Well, it's Kentucky. It is Kentucky. We live in the 6th Circuit. 6th Circuit includes Kentucky, Michigan, Tennessee, and Ohio. It's the most conservative circuit. It's the only one that voted against gay marriage at the appeals court level, that forced the case to go to the Supreme Court. Of those 4 states, Kentucky has the most conservative judges. And the worst thing than not filing a case over a bad law is filing a case and losing. We have to watch the Supreme Court. We have to change the Supreme Court. We have to change the judges in our state. The only way you can really do that is to go to the polls and vote. And with that, I would like to say thanks once again for inviting me to come out here. If you have any questions about what I said, you can feel free to see me at the tent. Thank you.